City of Stevens Point Transportation Commission meeting, recorded November 9th, 2020.
Okay, awesome. Well, then let's get started. We'll commence the meeting and start with roll call.
Okay, Carolyn,
Here.
Alderman Kneebone,
Here.
Alderman Leek,
Right here. Here. Sorry.
Todd Bertram,
Here.
Greg Capel, and Nicole Listi.
Here.
Okay, so I believe Greg is the only one that's not in attendance tonight. So I'll make note of that and we can continue.
Okay, so next agenda item is approval of the October 12, 2020 Transportation Commission minutes.
Move to approve. This is Carolyn.
Tom Bertram will second.
Okay, so we have a motion by Carolyn and a second by Tom Bertram, since we have multiple Toms. Any questions or discussion on the minutes from the last meeting? Okay, hearing none, we'll take the motion to vote. All those say aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries. And just one comment for Carolyn, thanks for running the meeting last time while I dealt with migraine.
No problem.
All right, move on to the next agenda topic. Approval of the October 2020 financial claims report.
I didn't see anything on that. I'll move to approve.
Alder Kneebone will second.
Okay. So a motion by Carolyn and a second by Mary. Any questions for Susan or any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, take the motion to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Move on to agenda topic number 4, approval of the use of general funds in the amount of $5,165 for one driver protection barrier not covered under the CARES Act funding. So did you want to talk a little bit about that, Susan?
Sure, I'll just bring you up to date on this. You'll remember a while back, I spoke to you and indicated that we were going to be getting driver protection barriers for our vehicles, and we had a $50,000 budget of CARES Act funds to use for that project. We were able to get 9 barriers for that amount of money. However, we have 10 vehicles that we would like to outfit with the driver protection barriers so that we have consistency across the board with our fixed route buses that we use in our service. So I spoke with Joel about it, and we decided to request the ability to use some general funding for that 10th protection barrier. So all the buses will be the same. So that's what I'm asking for, is just enough, the ability to use general funds. We have adequate funding to cover it, not a problem there. But I'd like to run it past the commission and have, have you think about that and authorize it if you feel that that's a good use of general funds. And just as a side note, the mechanics have been putting the driver protection barriers into the buses. And so far, the transition has gone quite well. It's a little different for the drivers, but we really haven't had any real issues or complaints. I think everyone feels a little safer with them in place.
What are they? Like, what do they look like?
It's like sort of like a door with a window in it that as you board the bus, the fixed route buses, it's the driver is sitting in their seat, and the door, the driver protection barrier is between the driver and the passenger entrance area. The windows in this door, it's like a sort of like a half door with a window on the top, and the windows have the ability to slide open in the event that they need to reach for something, or if they need a little more ventilation or whatever the reason. But they can also slide it closed so that there is a barrier from top to bottom for the driver.
So does it like make it so the driver's in like their own little cab?
Yes, kind of
Really?
like if they're sitting in a little area that they are in the seat. The door is right next to them, so it does exactly what the name implies. It protects them not only from exposure to contagious illnesses, but it also protect them in the event of a potential assault attempt. So, we purchased protection barriers that are in, really solid, and I think that they're a very good product. There are some out there that are sort of flimsy plexiglass from top to bottom. We felt that, given the fact that we were able to obtain CARES Act funding at 100%, that we certainly wanted to provide a product to our operators that would be beneficial for their safety and well-being.
Or are they clear?
The glass area is clear. The lower level of the doors that we have is sort of it's black, right? It's sort of a solid black plastic. Feel free to stop in and take a look, Carolyn, or any.
Okay.
Really, it's. I think we're very fortunate that we were able to obtain them, given the. COVID is increasing in our area, so anything we can do to keep our drivers safe, I think, is essential.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good use of the general funds.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move to approve that.
I'll second that. Leak here with, Alderperson Leak.
Okay, so we have a motion by Carolyn and a second by Alderman Leak. Any further discussion or questions for Susan?
I have a
I have
quick
some-
question. The general funds, is that the transportation department's general funds budget, or is that the city's general fund line item?
That is the transportation's general funds.
I do agree it's an excellent use of the money.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few questions about math. So we were given, so each of them cost $5,165.
Yes.
So then, if we not get a partial from the 50,000 for the CARES Act? Because so like 5165 times 9 is 46.5 roughly. So we can't get a full 10th under the 50,000, they give us the difference, and then we would only be having to foot the bill for like $1,065.
Right, I can talk to them
600.
about that. Typically I put my request in for 9 of the barriers because there was that limit. I didn't push it beyond that. But, you know, I can certainly inquire and see if they're willing to go
Goodbye.
extra.
Right.
With that, you know, and then that would reduce our local general funds impact. And I can certainly explore that and see if they're willing to do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Or I guess then the difference is if we have roughly 3,500 left for the CARES Act, is it of the 50,000, is there anything else that could be used to kind of get all of our pennies worth?
If, you know, if they're willing to do that, I think that we would, you know, we would use it up with the door. I would be happy to do that, or to do that if they're willing to extend that olive branch. I know initially I was to submit the project. I felt that it was a final project with the first request. And so, but again, I'm willing to talk to them and see if they can meet us halfway on this.
Okay. Otherwise, like $3,000 of Clorox wipes.
That's a lot of Clorox wipes, if you can find that
If
many.
you can find them, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
door
I
supplies.
will do that. So what I will do is I will explore that and see if that if that would be acceptable. If you would approve up to that amount, that would help me be able to take care of getting the door as soon as possible. And, you know, I'll try to work out the best that I can as far as the money goes and where it's coming from. That's a good suggestion, though.
I'm
Thank you.
100% on board for the general fund doing it. I'm also, if they'll meet you halfway, I'm also on board for saving us fund.
Okay, very good.
So do we need to amend the motion to say up? No, okay. Well, I'm seeing Tom shake his head. Is everybody else okay with that? All right, so we have a motion by Carolyn and a second by Tom. We didn't take it to vote, correct? Okay,
I
good.
think
I've been at
Thomas-
home for a long.
Thomas was the second.
Yeah, Thomas Leak. Yep.
Okay,
Okay, then we'll take the motion to vote. All those in favor say aye.
excuse
Aye.
me, Nicole, I just want to be clear on what the motion is at this point. Is it up to? Up to that
Up
amount?
to 5,165.
Okay. Thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting.
It's okay.
That's all right. So we'll take the motion to vote again. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Move on to the next agenda topic. Approval to apply for the 53118520 grant funding to support the calendar year 2021 program operating expenses. Looks like Susan's still taking notes.
I
When
did,
she's ready.
in your packet, I put together an Excel spreadsheet. And what you'll see in front of you is all of the programs that we apply for 5311, which is federal operating funding, and 8520 combined with that, and that's 8520 is state funding. That's our annual budget request for that particular program. And included under that program is our city fixed route bus budget, our city paratransit, and the rural fixed flexible bus program. The total of the three programs combined is $2,380,692. This for 2021, that's our proposed budget. We also, and that's without the contra. We do have some contra that we apply towards those expenses annually. And those are fuel tax reimbursements, insurance dividends, and a paratransit aids grant that we receive, which all goes toward the operating expenses. So when the contra is backed out, then we have that total that I just quoted. It's under 1% increase from last year's budget. We also have about $308,290 of revenue that we expect to come through in 2021, as well as our program subsidies, which is income from support programs such as the Plover Crossroads subsidy, the Whiting subsidy, and then there's some programs that follow the rural program, Older Americans Act funding, and Wisconsin Senior funding. So overall, you know, we do have some revenues that follow. We do have a budget in place. I'm in the process of putting that grant application together. One of the requirements for that is to have a documentation that our Transportation Commission is authorizing me to carry this budget into the 5311-8520 grant application. So that's why it's before you tonight. It's informational as well as a mandate from for the federal grant. Any questions on the budgets?
I have a quick question. Susan, have you seen anything rise higher than any cost rise higher than you would have anticipated, or is it just kind of general cost of living type increase?
For 2021, it is general cost of living, really. It's wages. The increases in the budgets, budget from 2020 to 2021 is mostly wages, and you know, the benefit wages, but we actually had a decrease in the health insurance premiums. So that was a nice surprise. And you know, so typically, you know, we have slight increases, just cost of living increases with things like, you know, uniforms or other types of janitorial or annual types of services that are provided to us. But everything, I believe everything is quite reasonable given the circumstances. It is difficult to put a budget together, especially with the revenues piece of it. WSDOT had asked us to keep revenue to be careful how much revenue we anticipate because of the COVID. It may be down. They were actually telling us to make sure you're very conservative this year because what you're awarded is, of course, based on what you're projecting as expenses minus revenue, and then a percentage that will be paid on that amount. So you do the best that you can in a year like this. It's really, there are so many variables and so many unknowns. It's not the typical year at all. But overall, I think this is pretty close to where I hope to be. I understand there may be some CARES Act funding left for us to use in 2021, which will also affect our local share because we are obviously, that's more generous than we typically receive. But we're told it won't last the entire year. And again, nobody knows how it's going to work out. It could be out at the end of the quarter. It could be the middle of the year. It could extend beyond that. So many variables. But as the year moves forward, we'll be able to give you more details on that. But there are no huge surprises or no huge changes at all in this budget. And there is no program expansion either. We had talked about that after we did our transportation development plan, that we were looking at some possible route changes and so on for this upcoming year. I just felt that it just is not a good time to be jumping into
Agreed.
big changes. And I'm hoping that things will stabilize, and by 2022, that the system will be able to move forward with those recommended route changes, because I think that is definitely the way we want to go at some point. It's just not right now that is a good opportunity for us.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. There's too many uncertainties right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need a motion for this then, Susan?
We do. Let me think here. We are on number 5, which is approval to apply for the funding, the 5311-8520 grant funding to support this operating budget.
Alder Kneebone here. I will so move.
Actually, it looks like I duplicated.
Yeah, I was just saying that.
Yeah, I'm just seeing that right now. I apologize for that. So initially, I think my budget was to review this and approve the budget itself. However, since I don't have that in the agenda, I think we'll accomplish the same thing with a motion to apply for grant funding for this amount. That will demonstrate that you approve the budget and you're asking me to apply for funding for it.
I will so move.
Thank you, Mary.
Tom Bertram will second.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take the motion to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, those opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move to the next agenda topic. Sorry, I gotta move from the budget back to the agenda. Okay, so that was that, oh, that's the repeat then, right? 6 is the same as 5. Okay, then we're on to the last, second to last agenda topic, the next meeting date. So next meeting would be Monday, December 14th at 4:45 p.m. Assuming we will still be meeting via Zoom. Any objections to that date and time? Okay. Then we are adjourned.
Perfect. Well, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.